Oh, hi, when was it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're right, mate.
Was
You're right. Bang on time. How you
it
going?
done?
Yeah, 7:40. Well, right now is the time. We started it. We moved it last week.
Ah, okay. Oh
Yeah,
my God, I was
yeah.
the internet was out and it just came in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Makes sense. How you going?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah. Good, mate. Just finished teaching. Just finished teaching. So I think Gideon will jump in a sec, and I just saw him on here before.
Okay, okay. Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah. Your app looked pretty cool.
Thanks for checking. Still working on it, but there's some few errors and try to put some more stuff just to make it good. And uh, my goal for now is like no errors and good function.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, that's very cool. I think once Gideon gets on, I'll be here he comes. S- Curious to ask you a couple of questions about the back end stuff. Have you gotten to that yet? But yeah, we'll touch base.
I will just gonna.
Hey mate,
Morning, all.
how you
Is it
going?
the right time? Is it? They're all starting from now, aren't they? A bit.
Yeah. I think I'm nearly four. Ivan, what are you? You're like a bit later than that, aren't
Yeah, no, this is good. This is a good time.
you?
Is it time? Not too
Yeah.
early.
No, that's it. That's it. How you going?
Yeah, okay. Busy week. Busy
Yeah.
week. Lots of uni work deadlines.
Mm.
I made my deadline on Sunday by 2 minutes.
Oh wow. Lucky. Lucky. Yeah.
So, but we had to give like a presentation, or we had to submit a presentation, but the presentation had to have a transcript on top of it.
Mhm.
So I mean, you can submit your PowerPoint presentation, but then I spent ages on ScreenPal, editing the commentary and stuff, and
Ah,
just longer whilst watching the clock ticking down.
yeah. Yeah, that's it. Wow. It's always frustrating. There's some really cool apps that I've been testing out lately for that specific use case of like editing your transcript in real time.
Okay.
So is like you can do this where you use Zoom because it obviously creates a transcript. But I've got these two that I'm testing. One is called Teller.tv, and it's fantastic for screen recording and presenting because it's got all these crazy AI features in it. It basically goes, if you made a mistake, it'll remove it. Just like click a button, one button, and it finds all your ums, your ahs, your pauses,
Wow.
your double takes, and just wipes them
Any
out.
of those?
Yeah. It's so good. It's so quick.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And
In that down. Yeah.
yeah, give it a go. I bought the subscription because it was so good just for making tutorials. Like perfect. Perfect. Yeah. So I think Jack said he's feeling under the weather at the moment, so he won't be joining us. But yeah, I think we've got a little bit to share. I thought we might have a bit of a discussion of like usually try to kick it off. Best hopes for the day, best hopes for our session. What's one thing you want to try to walk away with, if possible? So we'll whip around the room, and then I've got a couple of questions Ivan might be able to answer. Maybe you could in like for all the stuff that you've been learning, because I've been experimenting with stuff and I'm just hitting the wall. So we'll see. Yeah. So best hopes for the day. Ivan, have you got
oh, sorry.
yeah? So best hopes. What do you by the end of today? What do you hope to have sort of achieved or done?
Um, as as of now, like I'm really learning stuff. What's good about it is it's very um you learn how to like practice your problem solving skills and my research for me and my researching skills as well.
Mm.
That's for me.
Cool. So what I'm hearing is by the end of the day, you sort of continue refining those skills of research and yeah. You said you were trying to solve some errors in your current app. Is that the thing that you're trying to get within your token limit?
Yes.
Yeah.
With Novella and I just tapped in for a subscription, but right now there's some few errors, but I think I can manage to fix them.
Mm. I think we briefly talked about it last week about using another large language model like
Yeah,
Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT to problem solve. Did you
yeah,
experiment?
yeah, I experiment that as well, but there's still errors, but up to minimize only. I mean, like
Mm.
not really that big of an error, but there's still some few. So
Yeah, cool. What the question I had for you, and you might be there, you might not be there yet, was deployment. So meaning sending the app out for people to use. Have you gotten to that point yet?
not no as of now, because I what I'm thinking is I want to like make it full 100% no error and
Mm.
error free because I want them to experience the full potential of the app and just so that if I am a user, I would like to experience the smoothness with 100%.
Hmm.
That's it.
Cool, cool. Well, I think at the end of today, we'll try to have some UI, which is user interface and UX, user experience. Kind of that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about. Is get that smooth. I've been testing some prompting for that, so I might be able to help you out a little bit. So,
Okay.
for yourself, Gideon, one thing.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of stuck on all this. Stuck's not the right word, but all these kind of mini activities and fun games and things. So I made a connections game this
Yeah.
week. You know, I thought it'd be quite an interesting starter just to see whether you can replicate is it the Times or whatever it is that the New York Times thing. It was fairly successful, but trying to get it in a way that has that education purpose to it, that learning outcome, not
Mm.
and it worked quite well. Being a science teacher, mixing things like formulas um, uh, and knowledge bits and whatever, and it was okay. But the when I say the thing about the quizzes and whatever, I read Jack's piece. I mean, Jack writes dissertations. He
Yeah.
writes just amazing art. I mean, they're articles, so they're full on, extraordinary. His explanation about the platform he was doing, the Padlet like thing, but this thing that he was mentioning, I saw it the other session, the PRD.
Mm.
Yeah, the program, and it's just not something I've ever come across at all. But and I read, obviously disappointing, the limitations in Canva to be able to deal with it. But by creating it and pushing that into the prompt, it does seem to just take designs to a completely different level, to a whole new level. I mean, I was extraordinary what produced, and
Mm.
it reminded me a lot of what I'm trying to do, and then the stuff that I see, like Julian's thing that he made. And clearly, you have to have a more sophisticated prompt. You have to kind of really push the thing to it. So I'd like to investigate that today.
Mm.
I think I'm still basing this on Canva, and that's the concern I have, because it still needs to be within possibly something that is more ubiquitous, universal, that teachers can use. I
Yeah.
don't want it
Yeah.
just to be just for the few. And that's frustrating that he's felt he's had to go to
Mm.
other LLMs, but anything that just prompts me to go and start looking a little bit beyond just the 3 sentences that I push into a prompt each time,
Yeah.
hoping to get results that work. So
Yeah.
that's kind of today's thing, I think.
Awesome.
Um, and I think also going back and looking, I need to do this over the week, go back and watch some videos, because there are snippets I see where I watch a prompt and people are putting in lines into a prompt that I would never think about, which are almost telling the prompt, don't do this, do
Mm.
this according to that, rather than just simply pushing in outcomes. I want it to look like this or this or whatever. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah.
interested in what you're going to talk about with the UI UX stuff.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's great. I think if you go back into, I think it's week 1, 2, you will see the old guidebooks that we've created from previous group. And in there, there's one that's all about PRD. But taking it one step further is to, like you said, making it accessible for teachers of all realm, not just, the high end, app developer. So the PRD product requirement document is like literally your full context window. Like, here's what you're going to do. It's essentially what you call one-shot prompting. It's like,
Mm,
you've got as much detail and context in there as you possibly can, and then it goes and passes it out, meaning it breaks it up, and then it segments and then just executes. But what I've noticed in Canva is you can definitely put that in there. However, the context window, the amount of text it can actually hold is drastically reduced. So might be a good exercise to go into Canva code and basically request how big is your context window for a product requirement document. Tell me the character limit. And then essentially you can go through the process of generating it using a more robust LLM if you wanted to, like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. Doesn't really matter, Gemini, and then just take it over to Canva. I actually used Canva code the other day in 2 different windows. So I had the coding and then I had Canva. It's like it says code, but it's not. It's not the. I'll have to find when I go into it. It's like a separate tab, and it won't generate your apps, and it won't generate the actual. It's like a prompting thing, and it's like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. It's because I figured out it wasn't the actual app generator. It was a different tab, and in there it created a really good PRD. So I copied it out and put it over into the coding platform for Canva,
mhm.
and it worked a treat. Uh, yeah, so see what you can do
Yeah, yeah.
in that context. Yeah, Ivan was saying he's got internet issues, so he might drop in and out. But yeah, I think yeah, if we can find more about the back end data management, that would be an ideal situation for me today.
But so I looked briefly at the post you made on LinkedIn
Mm,
about the CPD you were
yeah,
doing. That looked
yeah,
amazing. That looked
yeah,
really positive. The responses
yeah.
from them that you put up.
Yeah,
Do you
it
want to
was
say
very fun.
a bit about that? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
was that linked to your tools within Google Classroom post that you made as well?
That was separate. That was
Right.
basically just an extra. Here's some tools. If you didn't know they were there,
Yeah.
go and grab them. But this was like for the last few months, we've been running baseline assessment of where we are as a school on readiness of like how embracing are we with AI? Where's the students at? Where's the parents at? Where's the teachers at? Where's the leadership team? And this was my first opportunity to actually get in front of the whole school and present. And some of the biggest points out of that baseline that we did was it identified that, there's no policy and there's no professional development and there's no understanding of like 70+% of the teaching staff didn't know the AI requirements for IB. And I was like, okay, let's scale right back and
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
just put in place the frameworks to get it. And I followed a really simple structure for presenting, which was, the why it's a 4-step process like why, what, how, and now. So why is this important? What are the factors? How does it affect you? And what's now the one thing you're going to go away and do? And I just applied that and it worked a treat, as you could see. So yeah, it was
No, it was lovely. It was a really personal post as well. I like
yeah,
posts where people are, prepared to say, listen, these are the challenges that I have. These are the things, and here's how I overcome it. And it's a gradual process of doing that. I think it's
Yeah.
too easy to read these posts on various platforms where you're just thinking, well, that's not me, or I can never do that. There's
Yeah.
no honesty involved sometimes.
No, I agree. I agree. I think that there's this big missing gap between all the hard work that it takes to actually execute on something like that. Like, you see these people naturally go, oh yeah, they must be just born like that. And you're like, no, there's hours of work behind the
Yeah.
scenes. Yeah. So we'll jump in. I'm going to test out another platform I've been messing around with today, which is Google AI Studio, which is part of the Gemini suite, and we in education get access to it for free. So it's like fantastic, but I've already been playing with it for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and insanely good. But it's the same issue I was going to ask Jack today, like he's using Lovable for his app development. And it's the same issue what we're finding with Canva is it's fantastic at creating an MVP, a front end product, and it looks like really nice and pretty and user friendly. But then when you actually go to get people to use it, it's like, no, 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 this is a mock-up. The data's fake, the database is fake, everything is fake. This is just a facade.
Oh,
And so as soon as you went to go deploy it, it's like, okay, now you have to buy this subscription to this other platform. You have to get a back-end developer in. It'll take you 6 hours to
what?
set up. And I'm like, okay. And none of that, and every time I do vibe coding, none of that is ever disclosed on the front. It's like you can create an app and deploy it. No, there's the missing link, which is the back-end setup, which is the thing that, software engineers have got jobs over
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're the ones managing it. So I took it to my IT team and I said, hey, because two of them are engineers, and I said, hey, how can I set this up? And they said, oh, look, you can deploy these ways, but here it'll take you, 6 to 8 hours. And subscription wise, you need a test. You can use the free version, see if it works. For the cloud support system that Google offers, for example. But after that, it's $100 US a month to keep it operating.
Right,
I was
right.
like, okay. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, this all the hype around vibe coding and creating these apps in days and hours, they neglect the fact that you still have to have some high-end level of
Yeah.
software development expertise and funding. So yeah,
I read somewhere briefly, I think I've bookmarked it for later on. I think, was it? Oh, yes. It's on the front of the BBC's website about the AI bubble bursting. This is Google's boss talking
yeah,
about maybe. I mean, I think that your experiences are frustrating, particularly as you found something that you think comes free or is within a suite, which is great because
yeah,
you want it as part of the things you're using. You don't want to throw out yet another tool and but
mm,
if people are that limitations of it, well, absolutely fine if you're doing a front end mock-up for
yeah,
that's as far as you go. But yeah, it does get frustrating, I think, when the ideas that you have and the imagination, the innovation, the creativity, all that bit, suddenly comes to this grinding halt because
exactly.
of this
Yeah.
one this one thing.
Honestly, it reminded me when I first built my first ever chatbot. It was like end of 2022. And I spent 2 days, 2 full days, like hours and hours and hours building this chatbot for my brother's wine business. I was like, the little ones that pop up on your website. It's like, oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I built one of them and it was all about his wine and, it would take him down this journey and like buying experience. It was really good. And then I went to deploy it onto his website, and then I again hit the massive bottleneck of like, no, 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 you need to pay us a huge subscription. And I was like, oh, okay. Owen, do you want to pay for this? He's like, no.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
And
classic.
that's the thing, briefly, is as you say, is that when people see these things, well, look, it can be done. Look, it's there. Could you just get this for me? And then you
Yeah.
realize, well, actually, these are the bits. So what were your plans this morning then, or this afternoon,
Yeah,
or
so I'm going to try to use the Google AI Studio and see if I can get to that deployment level with a free version without having to set up much. Because it's just that taking that idea I had last week, same as Julian's, which is here's your interface, here you can submit AI tools for approval, and we're going to have a dashboard for you to say, hey, here's the ones we've got access to, here's approved for whatever grade, and so on. Because I haven't spent the time in Canva to get that database issue that we're having last week where it wipes the database every refresh it does. So that's why I went to Google AI Studio. So I'm gonna just spend maybe 15 minutes on that. If it's just
Mhm.
fill my head in, I'll go back over to Canva and see what I can learn a little bit more there because like you sort of said, it's more about, user accessibility for, the average teacher. I don't technically want to turn into a software developer. So
No, and yeah, I mean, I think that for me, the vibe coding is a big breakthrough potentially in terms of integrated technology, in terms of actually
mm,
encouraging people to be using this in the classroom. And I think, yeah, there's
mm,
enough barriers in place, isn't there, with tech
that's
and
it.
the classroom and learning to then say, oh, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
here's this thing too. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's it. So Ivan might jump back in. We'll see, but yeah, we'll jump into it, mate, and then we'll come back 15, 20 minutes. See where we're at. If you've got any
yeah,
questions, just pipe up, and we'll run through any challenges we're seeing. And happy to go over PRDs if you want to go specifics too. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah. I think for me, I'll give it this week and then come back. And then, because once I've got my head around it, and then I can kind of
Yeah,
focus
yeah,
a bit, some things to focus in on.
yeah.
Right.
Sounds good.
Let's go.
How you going, mate? You having a win?
Well, it was most interesting. So yeah, it made the document uh, as um, as the other examples, the PRD. I decided to go for do you ever remember that game Blockbusters, where you had two people at the basically you have a hexagonal grid of letters, and you have it's a two-player game, and they have to get across the grid
Oh yeah.
by selecting a letter. And if they don't get it right, they miss a turn. And I've kind of thrown things in. So if they get it right, that letter is blocked out, so the person can't use that letter. So I thought I'd make a kind of physicsy game where each letter was the start of the letter answer to the physics clue. And so I made the PRD. It looked great. It's gone on to whatever it is, a few pages,
Yeah. Unreal. Do you want
10.
to share your screen?
Yeah. Do 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 do. You got that?
Yep, yep.
So there's me going backwards, and you go backwards till this point here, which is basically all of what Canva accepted. So Canva only
Mm.
accepted to there,
Okay.
um, which is interesting in the context window. So, I guess knowing that, how much could I remove of this that is just kind of superfluous? I think that it does cut out quite a bit of kind of key stuff.
Mm.
Nonetheless, have I just shared a? Can you see that? Have I?
No, you just shared
I just dash. Okay, let me go back and share the Canva. So is that shared now?
yep, yep. Can see that one.
Yeah. So basically, the and I've seen this before. It does struggle a bit with odd shapes because I really wanted them all linked together. So it's got your name that you can enter. Unfortunately, that's invisible. And then various. So then, unfortunately, I'm now in version 5 of fixing little bits where I think that's the thing I want to kind of avoid, I guess, in
Hmm.
the picture that's there. I mean, you know, it, so this is still not telling me it's working. So the idea is that this person could choose a space, and then up would pop the question and you would type it in, and so on and so forth. What is interesting is that obviously within the PRD, it talked about saving data. So Canva created the sheet with it, and it was just saving most ridiculous data that was not needed. I mean, and again, it did one thing that was quite nice is there are I think 50 letters here, so
Hmm.
it's gone ahead and created 50 questions. And
Yeah.
that was the thing that always frustrated me, with Canva, is that it would stick it at 10, so you
Yeah.
couldn't go beyond that. um, I still need that bit I think we talked about last week of being able to maybe go in and add my own questions,
Mhm.
because even though I said it was for GCSE, for IGCSE, that the questions are very general and are not specific, and maybe that's something I can work on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm curious with the level of the flow. Did you end up copying any of that extra PID and just pasting it
Well,
on top?
I know I didn't, because I just thought, well, let's see how far it takes me with this,
Hmm.
rather than actually then going back and saying, actually, that's great. Here's the next bit and the next bit. And my friend Ivan, who I've talked about, has started doing that, although for a slightly different purpose, just adding in those chunks to go along. I think it probably played against, or played with my frustrations of let's go, get it done.
Yeah,
I'm not,
yeah.
I'm not waiting for like,
That's exactly it. It's that, get it set right and hopefully you can just get it
yeah,
done once
yeah,
rather than
yeah. There's a limit to how small my iterative steps are going.
yeah. Well, so at the moment the interface is not functioning. It's saying waiting for players, no players found yet because you can't submit. Is that
Yeah, so
about
so
right?
basically, I need to kind of, if I go back to I don't know if I've got an earlier version. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
this was it's,
interesting.
so I had to type this in. If I press join the game, in fact, it's not even responding. That's strange because it was working before. Um, yeah. So you enter the players, and then basically you then choose the first go, and it asks the question. And the idea is it turns green if you get it right, it turns red if you get it wrong and you miss a go. And then as you move on, it
Yeah,
goes black, so the person can't go on that, and they have to find an alternate route. And
got you.
uh, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah. Interesting. Did you do any like reflective prompting? So meaning like you copy like Canva is a bit strange because you can't really upload pictures well, but reflecting meaning telling it in context, hey, these things aren't working, identify, tell me why, what do I need to improve?
no, that's maybe I wasn't crediting it with enough intelligence to be able to come back and give me. I think and that probably is important because it does become quite hallucinatory, if that's the
Mm.
right term to use at times, where it tells you, it's clearly done it when it hasn't.
Mm.
Um, there were a couple of bits that were quite noticeable where again, the iterative thing is that, so here, perfect, I fixed both issues.
Mm.
Yeah. But, for me, there were three things there, and it's just probably how I've told it, and I've not kind of set it out. And
Mm.
that's, and,
Yeah.
and that's kind of, and I think that's really important because I think, we may be forgetting the idea of the prompt or the natural language. We talk about natural language prompting. Yes, it is because, you're writing and you're putting it in English, but actually there needs to be a better sequence. There needs to be a way of making sure
Mm.
it's a clarity in terms of what's there.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. I see it a lot with my students. They'll prompt one lines once they start going and just keep doing small bit, small bit, small bit. But rather than still following, the traditional, I guess, prompting structures of like, task, role, description, constraint, and format, that those kind of like th building blocks that can generate, better output because it's like
Mm-hmm.
we talk about rubbish in, rubbish out. It's sort of we get the same kind of processes regardless if it's a powerful model or not. Because yeah, I'm finding similar kind of stuff where it just I'm getting into that fix this, fix that, rather than going super deep with some prompting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
For
I'll stop sharing because I saw you highlighting lots of super deep stuff, super super being the optimal super base. Uh,
yeah. Well, I'll share. I don't think it's I don't think let me go window
Well, it's the
desktop.
first I've seen, so it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, so here's the tool that I've
Yeah,
spent a bit of time working on. So pretty much,
and this is within your school portal. Yeah, so
yeah,
this
so
is.
this is AI Studio. It's by Gemini and you sign in through your education email. But this is a portal. You can see it has list version, approved to decline. This is if I go to am I on, yeah, I'm on the directory, but as the director. But if
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
teacher, this is what they would see. They can see our secure assessment, which is our review process.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been, approved? Yes. What is it student facing? What grades are we recommending, and so on. This is like the level of data I want shown to the teachers. They're like, yeah, yeah, it's good, but just be aware of it's only these age ranges, and we've got
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
legal
Mm-hmm.
legal stuff. So that works a treat, and you can see the rejected ones, like why it was rejected and so on. So that interface and it just pushes straight out to the websites, which is really good. So that's fantastic. And when you go into the director component, which is the admin portal, you can upload, you can download the CSV for management, and so on. And the upload process, I suppose, for the teacher as well, like they can recommend a tour and they just follow the basics, you know. Um, Let me just go and that's it. They just select description if needed, if it's what grade do they want, and so on. So it'll do and submit, and then from it'll come up as like pending
Mm-hmm.
for approval, and we can go and have a review. Now the challenge is this is the full thing. Now I've just reset it because I went down the Superbase platform to try to connect the back end system, and now did I shut it? On a different app. That's why. Here it is. Yeah, I went on the Superbase, started setting up the tables, which is like the storage. It's like the, the
Hmm.
management. But my technical or lack thereof understanding sort of creeped in. So what I ended up doing is I pulled up Claude and I basically said, all right, now tell me step by step, how do I
Yeah.
actually do this? And it gave me exact details. Like I got up to about here.
All
Um,
right.
so I could have kept going. Like I imported these tables and so on. That's what you saw in Superbase. Um, and then it downloads all the files I can upload and away I go. But the thing that was said is like it's going to take you 6 to 8 hours to set it up. And I was like, okay, now that's a full-blown software program and management and architecture and all the rest of it. I was like, oh, okay, stuff it. Put that aside. I went back to Canva. And I was like, let's try to solve this issue of like the CSV and the data sheets wiping. And I did reflective prompting. So I basically said, this process is not working. I need a bulk upload already approved tools rather than manual inputs.
Yeah, yeah.
The UI, UX methods to solve this, and then it's recommended solutions of how it should, operate as a system, and then what it can implement and so on. And that's where I sort of got to. But when I do a submit, go to admin and I want to do bulk import, oh, that's new. I didn't see that before. But basically, oh, it's actually told me the tables, so I can actually go and try it. Here's a list. I haven't set the list up in their format, but let's see what happens. Hopefully it works.
See, it's sentient. That's rather worrying.
Well,
Okay.
that's a lot better,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you can actually see approved, not approved, all that kind of stuff. All great. Public portal. Ah, look at this. It's actually working. Um, I would want pictures and stuff, but
Sure.
visit tool takes me out to it. There we go. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a big.
That's a
That's
massive jump. So basically, I got frustrated. I go back. I got frustrated by deleting the data sheet. Where's the data sheet uploaded? I was like, just tell me,
ah,
where's it
ah,
gone? And then it said, oh yeah, it needs to be here. And then you need a single point of um, truth, which is, work from one data sheet. And so I said, well, that's why I want the CSV upload, so I can download
mhm.
it, upload it, upload. Yeah, no, like, and so by the looks of it, it's done what I've wanted to do with tools categories. It hasn't categorized because I haven't put these in place for the recommendation, I guess. But from an admin perspective, sort of worked. Sort of worked. I had a lot more functionality in this, like
Mhm.
review again, do your assessment. Is it PDPA or is it student facing and so on? I could put notes. But
No,
again, proper software. So did well, I guess.
no, that is good.
Yeah. So I suppose that final step of like doing the where's the data sheet, just telling me like where did I start? I started up here a bit further. Said, yes, I kept getting this issue. Did I screenshot it? No, no. I think yeah, I thought I screenshot it. But I kept getting an issue where on here it would just turn into gibberish. Like this would just be a cluster of just, weird symbols and stuff.
Right.
It's still cut off, but I'm happy with that for a basic version of basic prompting because I didn't go too hard on it either. Like for this last bit, that was 2 minutes when I was trying to get the other one to work.
Hmm.
Um, I suppose now it's just making it user friendly and publishing it and then seeing who can interact with it. And it should have like a title up here. It's got the magic school down here, but I don't want numbers. I want, the
Yeah.
title, the basic user experience kind of stuff. So yeah, overall, pretty decent. Bit of
And I
win.
think those things are solvable, aren't they? I mean, they're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
tweaks to
I
what you.
basically tell it to just keep iterating those. What
Uh-huh.
I like to do with my last one, I'll see if it does it. Um, So I've run a prompt like that before. It's like you tell it
Mhm.
critically analyze, you tell it to justify it basically, and then sequentially improve it, based on order of priority.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
done that in many different apps before, and it works a treat. So I wanted to see if Canva can do that because basically it just takes out a lot of the power of like the thought process of, oh, okay, we need to do X, Y, Z steps.
Yeah.
What's it said? No quick action tools on cards, missing batch operations, poor search visibility, no status change tracking, clutter, table. Yeah, they're all pretty important stuff if you were to go full-blown app development. So that would probably take 20 minutes to review all that workflow. And then we'll see what it ends up
Yeah.
putting together. But yeah, I think
So
yes.
if you go back a few steps, how much of that have you brought into Canva? I
So
mean,
like
at the
go
very
back.
beginning.
So this is my PID, basically,
Right, right.
what it is,
Yeah,
overview,
yeah,
what it's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
build, the categories that I wanted pre-populated,
Uh-huh.
sample tools that we're talking about. This I used in Claude and I got it to generate, but I didn't realize about the limitation. I said, okay, here's my assessment
Yeah,
for
yeah.
use I need. Uh, and
Uh-huh.
this is because Canva created it. It's like, here's a 6-week build plan or 7-week build plan for this app. So I just directly copied and pasted because I couldn't be bothered reviewing it. But basically, that should just be all excluded. The timeline stuff, that's just a waste of
Yeah,
context.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, project, action, setup. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So it was pretty detailed, and then it cut off there at the database, and that's I couldn't really be bothered. So I just said you've got, and it summarized quite well. Um, but I just started adding extra features like add the grades, needs to be,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
so on,
mm-hmm.
and then just basic things. I like to test with this one. Is it showing me straight away? Like it's actually functional, which it wasn't back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, all right. Here's version 9.
Mm.
Uh, Let's just see bulk import from that. It's definitely not in this file format, but I'll try it again. Oh, that was never saw that before. Okay, public, same. I would have to go back through this pretty thoroughly
Yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
figure out the what it's actually done, if it's actually made any changes or just said it has. But yeah, it's pretty functional for what I'm trying to do with it, which I
But no,
feel
listen, it
pretty
is.
intense, kind of work heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
It's almost Julian-esque.
yeah, almost. I gotta get him on a call and go, how did you do
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think, and going back to, I think I said this last week, that's the bit I think that people would really value. I think there are levels of this. you know. And I think it, if operating as you do at that operational basis, and when you led right at the very beginning of when I joined, when you were looking at a way of making, of getting the leadership to engage with AI and actually finding that purpose for it, which was actually, where are we at? What do we need to do? Let's get away from that kind of standard development plan. Let's make it more engaging, more current. And that's good. I think the more that we can appeal to a wide range of people, because I still think there is that bit. I mean, you said that 70 plus staff, not quite sure what to do and whatever. And, that hand holding, I think I replied to your post, that hand holding is hugely important. That bit where you have that expert, that person who's guiding people to say, listen, here's what you can do. Here's some examples. Find one purpose, find that thing to do, and gradually do it.
Yeah. It's so,
and that, and share, that transparency and sharing is, because that for me, I think is a big worry of the AI, is we just go off and it just becomes AI talking to AI talking. And
exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. Well, it'll be good. I got to figure out the cadence. We've got obviously one more session next week, and then figure out what the future, I suppose, in this format turns into. So yeah, definitely. That the value of what we've seen is being in the same room with somebody, giving it a test, and it's like you exponentially increase your rate of like understanding, even if you are just learning it together. It's one of those things. I remember one of my team when I first became a head teacher, and we were all learning how to build Google Sites, and it was me and my colleague, and we launched our first little site for our grades, and then oh look, this is cool, and then we basically just stepped everyone else one step ahead, just like pushed it through, and then within 2 years we got fully functional websites for every subject. So it was like but it was just being like shoulder to shoulder, let's build this stuff.
And if you're shoulder to shoulder, then I think that there isn't, mixing my metaphors here, but that step up isn't so big. And also that step down, that the bit where you fall down isn't so painful. And I think people are far more willing to put out ideas. Could it do this? Might do that. I think again, there's not that fear of being kind of digital anxiety or whatever is. Oh, this will be daft. I don't want to ask this question because it'll sound stupid. But actually, that's what we want. We want the ideas that have got nothing to do with text and stuff. And and let's not get fixated with the technology. Let's make it happen. And I think with Google Sites, the best thing for me that has never been beaten in terms of a school feature is the ability to embed on Google Sites simply, through an iframe. So bringing in all these other fantastic tools to do, say, right, let's make it visual, let's make it, and all you need to do is just this copy and paste. That here's the 3 steps. That's all we're asking. Just learn.
That's it, and that's where I'm looking at these things that we're building. Is like, because in certain platforms like Canva Code and all the rest, you can actually get the HTML file, or you can get the file and it's just copy paste straight over to a site, front facing, no issues. Well, there it is. So very, very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff.
And really powerful. I mean, I think the visual element is really important, the embedding bit. I think, yes, you can click on a link or whatever, but to actually have that first bit where you go on to wherever it is and there it is in front of you, I think is
exactly
powerful.
It's very cool. All right, mate. Well, you enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully you don't have too many more assignments. You've got to...
I've looked at the calendar. They're not in November, but they're all stacked up. Better get my act together.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Discipline.
That's the next vibe coding thing, is
All right. Great as always.
Yeah, I'll see you next week.
Okay,
all right.
awesome. Great weekend.
Bye. Bye.